Hello! Okay, we're back. 7.5. Let's do this. Today we're going to, well, I guess today, you might have watched all these videos today. We're going to, anyways, talk about how do you find the equation of a line. And thankfully for us, when we start this off, it's not so bad. We just need two things. The slope and a point. Oh, and Mr. Athide's reminders are very nice to himself. All right.
Keeps my ego in check.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Misty's losing it a little bit over here, you guys.
Yeah, lesson learned. Never give colleagues access to your devices ever.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course. Innocence, right? Okay, let's get back to this.
Completed.
Right, so we're going to need the slope, we're going to need a point. If we have 2 points, as you can see in the notes here, then we can find the slope, right? Of course, that's what we've been looking at for a long time. And then the key thing here is that you can use either of the points to substitute to use the slope point form of a line. So there's no correct point to use when you sub in. It can be either. Okay, let's start, and then you'll see what I mean if you don't already know. Let's find the slope, okay? So if you want to label your points, as always, you're welcome to, as I have just done. And then let's plug in. So we're going to get 7 minus 5 as our numerator, and 6 minus 2. It's kind of messy. I'll rewrite that. 6 minus 2, there we go, as our denominator, which gives us 2 over 4. And when we fully reduce to lowest terms, as we always will do, otherwise E1, we get 1/2. All right, so now we have our slope, and we can pick either of the points, okay? So I'm going to show you both, but you only have to have one of them to have a correct and complete answer. All right, so we know we're going to use our y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1 form of the line, because currently that's the only form that we have. But in the future, when we have more types of line equations that we know, then you can use any of them if it's not specified. All right, let's plug in. So first option is with the first point, okay? So we're going to have y minus 5. I'm just plugging in that 5 here from the point. And then the slope we've calculated, which is 1 over 2. And then x minus the corresponding x value from the point. Remember, you can't just mix and match. Both the x and y values have to come from the same point. And also a reminder that they go in where x1 and y1 are. And the regular x, regular y just get left to represent all the other points on that line. Okay, so then you could also have done the other point on the line, which is 7, the y value, is 7, and the x value is 6. So either of those would be a correct and final answer. All right, who's next?
Me!
Classic.
Dibs.
Dibs or Tibbs?
Dibs for dibs! All right, this next example here, we're going to follow through just like Mrs. Friesen showed us on the previous example, and we're going to do that in purple today. So, we have to find our slope first, and like what she said, we could have any point represent x1 and y1, and any point represent x2 and y2, as long as we don't mix and match. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Our slope, is calculated by y2 minus y1, so we have 0 minus -3, and it's all divided by x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 1. This gives us a positive 3 over a positive 3, and again, we're not getting those E1s, we are reducing, so that will give us a slope of 1. All right, now, when we are trying to make our slope point form equation, like she said, we could use any of our 2 points. Maybe we want to use this one here, maybe we want to use that one there. Either will be sufficient. We're going to do both because we can. So we have our equation. I'll just kind of write it. Miss Friesen wrote it up above. So here we have y minus y1, so minus -3, right, is equal to m, which is our slope, which is 1, times our x minus our x1. So x minus 1. Of course, this is not our fully simplified form, right? We don't want to leave this as our final answer, because what we're really not enjoying is, well, we don't really need to write the 1 in front of a multiplication thing there. And minus and negative could also be simplified. So we are going to finish this off. So we'd have y minus a negative, which is plus 3, is equal to x minus 1. Did you feel? The next one, if we were to do the same thing with our other point here, we could go ahead and do that. So here we have y minus our y1, or our y2, I guess in this case, would be 0. And then our slope, which is still 1, and then x minus our x2, which is 4. And again, there's so many reducing possibilities here. We don't need to write that minus 0 because it's just so unnecessary, right? You're not changing anything anyway. And that 1 being part of our multiplication, also unnecessary. So we're going to get rid of those when we simplify that here. So we have y is equal to x minus 4. You dig?
Woo!
All right. So Mr. Thigh is going to take it away with the next example here.
You know it. Hey, wait! This one's different from the others. I've been had. But again, same idea applies. We need slope. We need a point. And the question is, how are we going to get those two? Well, in this case, it says it contains that point. So we've got our x1, y1 already figured out, as we can indicate in everyone's favorite color, eggplant? And the other information we have is that it's parallel to this other line. What we know about parallel lines from way back in the day is that they have the same slope. So if this line has slope of 3 over 2, then our line also has that same slope. Again, because parallel lines have the same slope. So using that business, since the slope is that, since x1, y1 is this negative 7, 8, we could straight up say, by plugging this into our slope point form, y minus 8 is 3/2 of x plus 7.
Nice.
Thank you. I think so as well. Would you like a turn?
I would love to take a turn here. Okay, so, woo, last example already.
Woo! What?
Okay, so this is a similar but different question to the one Mr. Thigh just did. So let's take a look at the information that the question is giving us. That's a nice color. Okay, let's start with the highlighter. Ooh. Great. Okay, so the first thing is the same given point as the following equation. So we already know where our point is coming from. And the other very important piece of information in this example is that we know that the line we are looking for is perpendicular to the next line given. Okay, so thinking back to our perpendicular and parallel lines knowledge, we know that if this is the slope of a perpendicular line, then our slope will be the negative reciprocal of it. So I'm going to turn it over, make it the opposite sign. So in this case, negative 5 over 3 is our slope. And our point we've gotten from this equation. So if you want to write it out for yourself to remind yourself, that's great. We have a point 1, negative 2. Okay, then we can just put that information all together into our equation of a line. So we have y minus our y value, which is negative 2, is equal to the slope of negative 5 over 3 times x minus the x value of 1. And, of course, we're just going to simplify that. Wow, that's really dark. That double negative that we have there to get our fullest best answer. So y plus 2 equal to negative 5 over 3 times x minus 1. And that's an answer. Woohoo.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
And that's a lesson. Double woohoo.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Okay. Bye, friends.